Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is 3.4.
What's going on, world? Welcome back. This is channel 3.4. This is music felt by me, but this is also kind of a Dave Speaks. This is more of a commentary video than it is a reaction. I am revisiting already 616 in LA by Kendrick Lamar. He had my brain in a pretzel. There's a lot to break down, a lot to kind of ingest there. There's a lot on the table, and a lot of it kind of blew right past me. Now I've done some homework, I've done some research, so I want to go back through the song and give some commentary and some explanation now that I have a better understanding of what the message of the song is. It's very obvious to me now. It's a lot better even than I thought it was on first listen. Let's get into it. So don't forget, we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. If you haven't seen my initial reaction, you can, but it's really me going like, I don't know what he's talking, I don't know what he means. Bad job by me. So this is me being very transparent and honest with you guys. I did that one. That was the first time I listened to the song. There was a lot that I needed help with. Now that I've gotten some help, I appreciate some of the comments down below on the other video that explain some stuff. And, you know, Twitter, Rap Genius, I kind of was scrolling. I was like, I need to unpack a lot of this. So here we are now, giving my thoughts. I'm not pretending like, oh, I know what it is, I get it now, whatever. It's not. I didn't know, but now I have a better understanding. So let's get right into it. Kendrick Lamar, 616 in LA, which in and of itself is an insanely layered thing. Like June 16th this year is Father's Day, so that would be 6/16 on the calendar. 6/16 on the calendar is also the day that Nicole Simpson the funeral took place, and I think the arrest for O.J. Simpson was granted, like, you know, ready to go, because he started the chase on June 17th. So I think, you know, he's being brought in as the main suspect. So I don't have the exact details on that figured out, but also 6/16 is Tupac's birthday. Not that I'm a very religious person by any means, but also Jeremiah 6:16. Jeremiah 6:16 in the Bible kind of goes over the prophet Jeremiah. This is kind of a paraphrase version, right? The prophet Jeremiah is speaking to the people of Judah, urging them to turn away from their sinful ways and follow the ancient paths and the good way in order to find rest for their souls. Heavy theme throughout this. So let's get into it, but yeah, it's tough. And then of course in Revelations, they call to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne, from the wrath of the Lamb. So it's basically, this is Kendrick talking to Drake, like, you are at a crossroads, my friend, and now you are sitting under the judgment of the Lamb. Okay, all right. So now we got a lot of those out of the way. Let's get into it.
There's survival. I think somebody lying, smell somebody lying.
So Drake has a song called Survival. It says, I smell somebody lying. Sounds like somebody's lying. Drake has a song called Survival on Scorpion, and it might have been the intro to his album, but Kendrick is saying, survival, it's survival. Sounds like somebody's lying, smells like somebody's lying. Drake, in that song, kind of runs around the idea that real Philly dudes were trying to take him out. Like, he had almost a near-death experience through this rap shit, and people were after him, and yada yada. Here it sounds more like, I don't believe you. It sounds like you're lying. Like, you weren't really about to die, right? Okay, and also Al Green sample, that's who it was. Oddly enough, Drake's uncle played guitar for Al Green. So he's using a song that Drake's uncle performed. Oh, this is so deep. Okay, and then here, this video might be 2 hours long. Off-White Sunseeker. And off-white could be Drake, right? He's calling him like white, but not quite white, but white-ish, basically white. Crazy, considering his last song, Euphoria. Off-White Sunseeker. Sunseeker is a boat, right? Also, Off-White Sunseeker, like needing to go do the DNA test and find out, is that my son? I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to identify my son here. You know what I mean? It might be a reach. Off-White Sunseeker at the marina. Fuck a phantom. I like to buy yachts when I get the fever. Wine. Fuck a marina. Oh no, he says Sunseeker at the marina. Fuck a phantom, which is like a ghost, right? So a phantom is, the soul of a dead person thought to be living in an unseen world or whatever. So fuck a phantom, the ghost. So you could say that he's battling ghosts, like the Ghost Riders, or dead person. I buy yachts, which I haven't correlated all that yet, but. Wine cooler, spill on my white t-shirt, the sightseer. Trifecta, money, morals, and culture. That's my leisure, my visa. Passport tatted, I shall hub in Ibiza. Luke Cali. Yeah, so here he says, kind of going back to that money, power, respect, which the last one is better. Here he says the holy trifecta, the trifecta. Money, morals, and culture. That's my leisure. So it's like, that is like when nothing's going on, that is what I am. When I'm just hanging around, for me it's money, morals, and culture, man. That's my chill. Like that's my fallback. And it speaks again to Kendrick basically implying that Drake's detached from the culture and his morals are broken. So I find that as a way to say, okay, yeah, you got money, you do the money talk. Well, I'm rich too, like I have money also, but I also have the holy trifecta. I have money, morals, and culture. You don't have those two. Trifecta, money, morals, and culture. That's my leisure, my visa. Passport tatted, I shall hub in Ibiza. Luke Cali's dwellings in Brooklyn just to put me some peace. So, my visa, passport tatted. I show up in Ibiza, meaning that he's like well traveled, well cultured, right? But also, he's also global. So Drake made the line, you can't get booked outside America for Nan or whatever. Then Kendrick saying, my passport looks tattooed, the way it's got stamps all over it, and yeah, I show up in Ibiza, dwelling in Brooklyn, just to book me some pizza or whatever. So he named I think it's like a Lucilla's Pizza or Lucilla, something like that. I can't remember the name. Trifecta, money, morals, and culture. That's my leisure, my visa. Passport tatted, I shall hub in Ibiza. Luke Cali's dwellings in Brooklyn just to book me some pizza. Luke Cali's dwelling in Brooklyn just to book me some pizza. So he's saying, when Drake said, I know you're in that apartment in New York right now struggling, he was saying, I was just in Brooklyn to get some pizza, bro. That's it. Jesus. Trifecta, money, morals, and culture. That's my leisure, my visa. Passport tatted, I shall hub in Ibiza. Luke Cali's dwellings in Brooklyn just to book me some pizza. Who can reach us? Only God can teleport this type of freedom. God, my confession is yours. But who am I if I don't go to war? There's opportunity when living with loss. I discover myself would not fall short. Raise my hands to a falling sky. I fantasize me jumping plant. So then, of course, again, tying back to the religious theme of this, I raise my hands to a fallen sky. So like as the world's ending and closing in on Drake, and it's all coming to a close, he sits there accepting the opportunities when living with loss. And I discover myself when I fall short. So it's almost like he's saying these attacks on Drake are sins of his own, right? And he says, like, my confession is yours. Like he gives, like, I confess my sins to you, sort of like, a lot of religious ties to this. And that's not news. Like, as Kendrick was building on the y'all know nothing about that scheme, it went from wake my kid up in the morning, I got a son to raise, wake him up in the morning, you don't know nothing about that. Then it turned into give him the tools to live life, to go day by day, living life. You don't know nothing about that. Teach him about morals and integrity. You don't know nothing about that. It's not even like you don't know nothing about teaching him about it. I took it as you don't know anything about morals and integrity. So how could you pass that down to your son, right? And then he says something like, not taking into consideration what God's considering. You don't know nothing about that. It's almost like he views Drake as this godless anarchist, kind of, he's just a sinful, godless man. And he's just, like, disgusted by him. It's kind of the vibe that I'm getting now. Like, the more this goes, I think it stems deeper than I even thought. I think Kendrick doesn't have respect for Drake, because I think that Kendrick may be a God-fearing man, and I don't think that he thinks that Drake has any respect or morals or boundaries or core values that he sticks to. And if he does have his values, they're just very misaligned from what Kendrick's are, or what Kendrick's values are.
My confession is yours, but who am I if I don't go to war? There's opportunity when living with loss. I discover myself would not fall short. Raise my hands to a falling sky. I fantasize me jumping planets, immortalized. I correspond. 3 angels watching me all the time. Put my children to sleep with a prayer.
Actually says me jumping planets immortalized, but also sounds like immortalized, like he'll never die because he can just go planet to planet. Like he's immortalized. I correspond. The 3 angels are watching me all the time. So, I don't know if those are like people in his life that he's lost. I know he's got another record where he talks about his grandmother. And then later in the song, he mentions Estelle's like watching over his heart. I think Estelle he named that name before, where they like walked away from a funeral or something like that. I can't quite remember the story here, but it kind of implies that maybe it's his grandmother who later passed away, whatever. So
correspond. 3 angels watching me all the time. Put my children to sleep with a prayer, then close my eyes. Definition of peace. Tell me who gon' stop me. I come from love.
And then there's even, it's kind of like a little petty dig there, but like I put my children to sleep with a prayer, then close my eyes. Definition of peace. I think he's speaking for him. That's true. Like he gets to say goodnight to his kids, tuck his kids in, read them a prayer. They go to sleep, and then he goes and closes his eyes. He is completely tranquil. He is at peace. And I think there's also the opportunity to go, you're missing out. You're missing out, dog. It's pretty peaceful. It's pretty nice. If only you could have the same experience.
Just watching me all the time. Put my children to sleep with a prayer, then close my eyes. Definition of peace. Tell me who gon' stop me. I come from love and still cover my heart, then open me up. Remember when picked up a pen, lyrics that I can trust. Timid soul, staring in the mirror, asking where I was from often. I know.
Here he kind of builds like a superhero origin story. Like he picked up the pen, still cover my heart, then open me up. Still covered my heart, then opened me up. Remember when I picked up a pen, wrote lyrics that I could trust, because like he knew the truth, that I could trust. Timid soul, stare in the mirror, asking where I was from. So it's almost like the superhero, like, where did I come from? Where did this start from, or whatever. It's interesting little build there.
Timid soul, staring in the mirror, asking where I was from often. I know this type of power is gon' cost, but I live in circadian rhythms of a shooting star. The mannerisms of Raphael, I can only give you art, but the
oh god, yeah. So this is, I didn't understand these at first. I knew what a circadian rhythm was, but I didn't really get to like apply it to what he was talking about. So circadian rhythms is your sleep cycles. It's your sleep patterns. So as you go into like REM sleep, deep sleep, that's your circadian rhythm. So he says, I live in circadian rhythms of a shooting star. Now, there's a lot of reach in here, but is he saying he's so in the head of Drake that he lives like, even when he's sleeping, I'm up here? He's dreaming or not having nightmares about me. I live in the circadian rhythms of a shooting star, and then also, like, you know, Drake's a star in first person shooter, and he's always sends kind of subliminal shots across the way. So is he saying, like, I exist only in the mind of the shooting star Drake, right? There could even be more to that. Again, feel free, leave it down below. I'm always interested in your guys' input on this too, but yeah, this one I feel like I get what he's talking about more. And then the mannerisms of Raphael, I can heal and give you art. Raphael, so the Archangel Raphael, which is like the ability to heal, right? And Rapha comes from Hebrew for the word heal, and then Raphael, of course, the artist, right? So to say I can heal and give you art, the mannerisms of Raphael, that's our Raphael. That's who he is. He can both heal, like Raphael the Archangel, and then also Raphael the artist. Nice way to tie those two things together.
Timid soul, staring in the mirror, asking where I was from often. I know this type of power is gonna cost, but I live in circadian rhythms of a shooting star. The mannerisms of Raphael, I can heal and give you art, but the industry's cooked as I pick the carcass apart. Yeah, somebody's lying, I can see the vibes on act. Even he looking compromised, let's peel the layers back. Ain't no brownie points will beam your chest, harassing ant. Fucking with good people make good.
See, I thought he said ain't no brownie points while being in chess or Jess, harassing and fucking with good people or whatever. No, I think he says ain't no brownie points while beating your chest, harassing Ant, who is Kendrick's manager. So that makes more sense now too. I wasn't sure who Ant was, but yeah, it's Kendrick's manager. I forgot he was like posting the pictures of Ant with like the OVO bags, like on Instagram and shit, like saying like he's a Drake fan also or whatever. But yeah, so he's saying ain't no brownie points beating your chest while harassing Ant, fucking with good people makes good people go to bat, right? So now, yeah, people are gonna double down just because you're the one that fucked with them.
People go to bed, conspiracies about cash, dog. That's not even the leak. Find the Jews like cash, dog. I just need you to think. Are you finally?
So this is an ominous line. This is an ominous line. I didn't understand the cash dog thing. So, you know, The Weeknd made reference of, I think on We Still Don't Trust You, I can't remember the song title. He said, you know, he would never be good over at OVO because they got so many leaks in their operation. I'm glad I didn't sign my life away. Cash is Abel's manager, and that's what he's like, Cash out here spending Abel's bread and whatever, whatever about all the way he spends his money on dudes or whatever. So the money or the leak thing. Now I saw Screwface react to this and bring up this point. We don't really talk about the fact that Drake's song got leaked. And Weeknd has talked about the leaks. He got leaks over there. So there's also another alleged story. I don't know if this is true, but there's the two versions of push-ups. There's the one that has the hit him up like, get money, makes the reference to Diddy. There's a couple different lines in it that supposedly, I don't know if this is true at all, but I heard that Drake had sent the two different versions to two different people and wanted to see which one would leak. And I think both of them wound up leaking before he really kind of claimed it or whatever. But then once it was out, he was like, all right, whatever. But he was doing the test. You tell two different stories to two different people and see which one comes back to you, and then you know who's talking about you or talking shit behind your back, whatever. So that's an alleged thing. But that Drake even kind of had some speculation that maybe some people would leak his music, so he gave the songs to two people, probably because he was ready to drop anyway, but wanted to see what happened. Interestingly enough, they leaked. So he says, conspiracies about Cash Dog, that's not even the leak. So I don't know if he's talking about Cash Abel's manager or conspiracies about money. Right, and the whole top dog, top drop and give me 50, whatever. And the contract scenario that Kendrick brought up too, with where he resurfaced the Pusha T lines about you signed to that guy, who signed to that guy, who signed to that guy. So he's saying conspiracy theory or conspiracies about Cash Dog. That's not even the leak. Find the jewels like Cash Doll. I just need you to think. So supposedly Cash Doll and her boyfriend have broke up because of Drake. I don't know the details there, but Cash Doll was also robbed of like hundreds of thousands of dollars of jewelry. So when he says find the jewels like Cash Doll, I need you to think. I need you to take a second. And it's almost like he's saying, come on, Drake. You're hot on their tail. You know who it is. Just think, really think. It's not Cash. It's not Cash. Really think for a second. Who's the one that would be able to leak all your information? Really think about it. Interesting. So he's playing a very strong strategic chess move here to create a lot of paranoia for Drake. This half of the record I understood a lot more. Like, you can go back and watch the reaction. This one's like, I get loud and clear. I get it. The Cash Doll line, I didn't know the story about her getting robbed for the jewelry, and Drake supposedly got in the middle of their relationship somehow. I don't know the details there. Boy. But there's another point that kind of at the forefront of the song that I want to jump back to once we get through more of this.
Ready to play, have you ever, let's see, have you ever thought that OVO is working for me? Fake bully, I hate bullies, you must be a terrible person. Everyone inside your team is whispering that you deserve it. Can't Tussie slide up out of this one, it's just gonna resurface. Every dog gotta have his day, now living your purpose. It was fun until you start to put money in the streets. They lost money cause they came back with no receipts. I'm sorry that I live a boring life, I love peace, but war ready if the world is ready to see them bleed. The Elohim, KTW, no you can't sleep, these images.
So the Elohim is like, I believe, another term for God, right? Or like a deity, basically. The Elohim. Yeah, in the Hebrew Bible, Elohim is known as like God. So he says like the Elohim. And I don't know if he's doing a lot of Hebrew because Drake's Jewish. Like, all I could think about is Kanye when he was like, I can't say what kind of doctor. He was a Jewish doctor. Fucking ridiculous. But I don't know if he's like playing into the Hebrew or if he's just going like to the roots of religion and speaking in that theme here. But then he says the KTW. Someone said online that Kendrick kind of has like this Kendrick the Warrior alter ego like in his music videos. I don't know much about that, but I don't know if that's what KTW stands for. But
Just trouble if the world is ready to see you bleed. The Elohim, KTW, no you can't sleep. These images trouble you. Know the why.
Yeah, so he says the Elohim, like the God, and that's what I feel like he's kind of saying. The God, Kendrick the Warrior. No, you can't sleep. These images trouble you. So he's basically, like I said, he's got. This is the kind of record that would like make Drake stay up at night. I'm not saying Drake is actually going to be bothered or fazed, but he might be foolish to not be. Because I don't think Kendrick's playing around. I don't think he's trolling. I think he's letting them know, like, things are not the way you think they are, buddy. Behind the scenes, out loud, even in your own camp. If you don't, I'm just trying to let you know that if you don't know, now you know, even if you don't know. Know that I know. And I'm just trying to let you know, kind of thing. Like, I don't know how many more of those I can do, but it's just... This feels like a very serious warning, not even like a threat. It feels like a warning of, for your own sake, you need to start looking around you. It's a great psychological game, and I don't even know if it's a game. I think this is a big piece of, this might be a revelation as to what's going on around Drake.
In your circle should puzzle you. If you were street smart, then you would have caught that your entourage is only to hustle you. 100 niggas that you got on salary, and 20 of them want you as a casualty. And one of them is actually next to you, and 2 of them is practically tired of your lifestyle. Just don't got the audacity to tell you, but let me tell you some game, cause I can see you, my little homie. You playing dirty with propaganda, hit blow up.
That's so cold too. He says, let me tell you some game, cause I can see you, my little homie. Like, you obviously... You ain't getting it. You don't get it. Your entourage is only around you to hustle you. Some of your friends, some of your payroll, some of your employees think you're better off dead. They'd rather see you as a casualty. Like, so let me put you on game. If you're street smart, you would have known this already. But you're a sucker. You don't get it. And it's almost like he's extending love and empathy to him. Like, this is me trying to help you. Circle back from this point here to the artwork, the gloves. I think I made mention of it in my reaction that kind of felt like OJ, like the OJ gloves. It's not just OJ gloves. They're potentially Drake's gloves, is the story. Word on the curb is that Kendrick had whoever works for him, whoever OVO works for him, send him a picture of Drake's gloves. The call's coming from inside the house, Drake. And then the leather gloves, supposedly those are the gloves that Drake wore during Tuesday Slide. I don't know if that's true or not. It's kind of irrelevant. But whether they're Drake's or not is relevant. Because it might be the evidence. Someone made that comment, I believe, underneath the reaction. If that's true, if he's getting texts of pictures from inside the house about Drake's belongings and stuff, and he's willing to help Kendrick, have you ever thought that OVO is actually working for me? Is loud. It's real loud. And then you also can go back to the OJ thing with the glove, and OJ accused of murdering a white woman. Kendrick may be doing the same thing here. Is kind of the play. So I don't know, man. This is dark. It feels very dark. It feels very ominous. This is not a diss record. I don't view this as a diss record. I do view this as a talking to, and like dog, I'm trying to help you. You need it, and I think a lot of this, like the you're being judged at the crossroads type thing, and we'll get into more of it. But
you're playing nerdy with Zach Beer and Twitter bots, but your reality can't hide behind Wi-Fi. Your little means is losing steam. They figured you out. The forced opinions is not convincing. I need a new route. It's time that you look around on who's around you. Before you figure that you're not alone, ask what Mike would do.
So Leela had made a comment to me that Michael Jackson, before dying, was very paranoid. He kind of secluded himself, turned himself into a hermit. And following up on that, I saw another piece of information that Prince had revealed that Michael was not doing well, and that he was very paranoid and was scared of pissing people off around him because he thought they wanted to kill him and all types of stuff. So if Prince is telling the story on Mike, what do we have here? Right? We have Prince outlived Mike Jack. What's a prince to a king? His son. Now we have, what would Mike do? And it ties back again to Drake being so ungodly that he almost seems like he's worshiping the wrong entity. Most people say, what would Jesus do? Plays on a couple songs too that Drake did the What Would Pluto Do, right? And that's kind of the song where he talked about, seems like hooking up with Pluto's girl or whatever, fling, whatever. And then Pusha T has a song, What Would Meek Do? Or a line or a song, What Would Meek Do? And most Christians or religious people would say, what would Jesus do? And he's asking, what would Mike do? And what Mike did was close the door and shut everyone out. And he just kind of hid. And I think that the undertone of this song is basically telling Kendrick, or Kendrick telling Drake, you need to stop. You need to look around you. You need to have some self-actualization. You need to go inside, because things aren't great for you right now. Don't trust anyone. You should be paranoid. And I think he's either because it's true or because he's trying to drill it into his head. And he's like, hey, Mike Jack. Now, the other thing is, too, about the You're Not Alone. I referenced the song, oh, no, you're not alone. That song was written by R. Kelly. And in the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, some of the victims said that R. Kelly wrote that song about the women he abused. Like, the victims of R. Kelly's abuse are also the inspiration for You're Not Alone by R. Kelly, performed by Michael Jackson. Also, a lot of child issues with Michael Jackson, a lot of child issues with R. Kelly, a lot of child issues with Drake. Different levels of allegation, speculation, you know, but still overall inappropriateness from Drake. So he's keeping that third rail open, I think, very subtly, because if they do have to go back and forth, I don't think he's overshooting it yet. But he's keeping it there, just in case. This is a brilliant record. It is ominous. It's spooky. It's weird. Like, this is moving around kind of crazy. Like, to me, and I hope this isn't the case, but to me it feels like this is like right on the precipice of turning into something very dark and not fun. Like, this is like I don't know. And maybe I'm just a sucker for the vibe, and like and I'm letting it, like, you know, some scary movie's scary even though you know it's a movie. It's not actually scary, but it does a good job of being scary. That might be this. It's not actually scary. It's not actually spooky. But if there's any legitimacy or validity to the things that are kind of being applied here, and if the intent behind it, executing it the way that he has, that's wild. So I just wanted to revisit it. I like the record a lot. It's really, really good. I view this kind of more as his version of Tailor Made. I think it was more of a, like, trying to keep the pressure on, like, come outside, and having those other characters rapping to him. You know, it was supposed to kind of like mess with him a little bit. I feel like this is I feel like Drake's was a troll. I don't view this as a troll. That's the difference. I feel like this is legitimate. And I think that Kendrick is also playing psychological warfare with Drake here. Even if it's not true or true, I still think there's a very big psychological element to this that is a chess move by Kendrick. We'll see what happens next. Thanks for being patient with me on my last reaction. That one, just a lot of it flew over my head. I wasn't exactly sure what I didn't get it. But I love lyricism like that, where it's like you need to go and unpack it. And typically I do a better job of picking up on stuff and understanding the context, but a lot of this stuff was news to me, and you know, I'm not like an academics follower. I don't know a lot of the references. Sometimes I like Cash Doll, I have no idea what's going on in her life. So yeah, but God, great record. Drake's up. We'll see. I mean, Drake is up. When I say Drake's up, I mean like Drake's like on deck, like he's up next. So I don't mean he's up like on the scoreboard. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Everyone, be safe, be real. Don't forget to pursue your own happiness. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, definitely go ahead and hit that button. That's going to do it for me, everyone. Be safe, be real. Don't forget to pursue your own happiness and shit. Catch y'all on the next one.